Uh-huh.
I'm no whore, even
Uh-huh.
though being paid for sex would be super dope, but
It,
I'm certainly not basic.
yeah, it would be super dope, right? It would be super dope.
I mean, I think millions of abused sex workers may contend that it's not so great after a while, but in theory, if money just magically appeared in my bank account every time I had sex, then that's the dope part of it. But, you know, it can be
But see, if they
problematic
could with
otherwise.
no problem, then they wouldn't need to be under the control. Okay, different podcast. Different
Yes.
podcast.
You did not tune in to Sunday and Jeff's TED Talk. This is But I'll Take a Pinot Grigio podcast. We're doing Vintage VPR season 4, episode 6, I believe. Cock of the Walk. And they just worked one of Lisa isms. This is 5. Okay. Lisa isms right into the title, which I know she didn't make
Yeah.
it up, but something that she said through there. So this is so juicy. And
Yeah.
I love it so much. And also the characters, or I say characters, you know what I mean, compared to how we first met them, they're almost like completely different people. You couldn't, if you put them side by side, you wouldn't even be like, except for Jax. They have just been so different. Like James, we thought he was just like skinny little nerd. Kristen was like the only one of reason this episode. Tom Sandoval used to cook for hot actresses in the 2000s. Like
Yeah.
what?
I like that he added
Wild.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you were successful and a big box office draw and super hot, like, yeah.
So to recap, playtime is over, bitches. Sir's staff is getting a complete makeover in the like of Pump because I guess they just want them to all be Pump. The Toms pitched something for Lisa, which I don't even know why we needed to be reminded of that. Nothing even came of that shit except for like one passing comment. Wine and Cheese had some problems.
Hmm.
You know the ones. Um, but you can't pull up the rug and sweep out the cobwebs unless you just go full on. Kristen and James are arguing that really terrible therapy session that they had, and then there's like a James, Lala, Jax triangle starting to form. That's the
Right.
important thing to remember for this episode
Hmm.
because, and two, did when they flash back, I do not remember from the episode James saying, when I said she was being slutty, what I really meant was, please come sit on my face. I don't remember him saying that in the
That's
original
the first
episode.
time I remember seeing it also.
Me
Yeah.
too. I knew that. And like, that is so strange because they put it in the scenes from past time,
Yeah.
previously on.
Yeah.
So
No, no, no.
strange.
That seemed like they dropped a secrets revealed right in there here in
Hmm.
episode 5. Like, it's going to be a
Well,
long season. Why don't we just sprinkle them throughout?
yeah. Well, maybe they had to reiterate how douchey he's become.
I don't
So,
think so. I think he's got that. Sorry,
yeah,
Bravo producers, if you were worrying yourself about that 11 years ago, please stop. He's got that covered, all covered up on that.
he continues to remind. So we
Yes.
always start out at Sir with a little montage of real work. We even see Ariana polishing a glass, right? Real work. I promise we work here, y'all. We're waitresses. We're bartenders, I swear.
It's looking
And
good.
LV, yeah, I mean, Sheena, LVP is checking in on Sheena, and we're getting a lot of these one-on-one scenes between the two, and I think we're supposed to understand that Lisa's this very caring hen mother, and um, so Sheena drops this very, very evolved piece of healthy news. I'm
Hmm.
just trying to live a happy, healthy life. I know that
Yep.
he has admitted that he is addicted to substance, both booze and pills. But we're just gonna go to the gym 5 days a week and maybe just like eat some egg white omelets. And I don't need to lose 10 pounds, but maybe he can. Cured.
Yeah.
There you go. She's all cured.
You may not need to lose 10 pounds, but you most certainly do not need to mention it and mention that he has. And it's not the first time it comes up. And I mean, not the only time it comes up in the episode.
I guess that's going to be Shay's new storyline. He started out as being Sheena's, boyfriend who's about to propose, then Sheena's wedding partner, then and now it was drug addict, and so now it's he's a fatty and's got to lose weight.
Yeah, this
Hope he's
is.
getting some bonuses.
I don't want to agree with Jax right off the bat or anything, but like, this is
I told,
Splitsville soon, right? Like, we're
yeah,
approaching
I
that.
told
I
you.
mean, yeah, I mean, it already seems like it, but I mean, before, but
Well,
it's like the way she's talking about him in the confessionals and stuff, it's just like, okay, That's
Well, and then the ultimatum that she gives them later, which we'll get to, it's just like sirens. That's what I should have added to our soundboard was a siren. Remind me, I put a note in
like I said, it's a
my
long
notes.
season. We got plenty ahead.
Yeah. So Sheena's good at cooking. I don't know if this woman just really likes Mexican food or if that is, but she mentions it at every turn. Remember, they had a taco truck at her wedding, and so she's really good at pasta and Mexican food, but not the good stuff. So Sandoval is going to come teach them how to eat
Yeah.
healthy.
Well, that's not what sobriety's about, according to Lisa. It's not about some egg whites.
No, you can't cure addiction by scrambled egg whites. And I think this episode
Uh,
should have been sponsored by egg whites because as many times as we motherfucking said
they
egg
didn't.
whites,
Yeah. I thought
um,
it was a new side hustle for Sandoval. I was like, "Has this dude got an egg farm nowadays?" And he's trying to come on out to Sandoval Farms. Like,
yeah, right. I bet his hands are the smoothest hands you've ever seen to run up a
oh,
farm.
so
Get the
so
fuck out
smooth.
of here.
This is right when
So,
all your boys trucking by with a box. Whoa.
making his way out the door, and Lisa's like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 sir, get in here." And so she calls him over, and I hate when she tries to like shoehorn in her humor. It gets on my nerves so much.
Yes.
But talking about all the things that he's stolen, and then her list consisted of like two actual tangible things, and then the bit about the boyfriend. But like the list of things this man has actually stolen: silverware, condiment cups, ramekins, napkins, like everything that's in his kitchen,
Tons
he
of
has stolen
booze.
from Sir. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And so he's so goddamn nosy, right? He's like, "Oh, what's going on? I saw you talking to Sheena. She good? What's happening over here? Just fucking messy as hell."
Yeah.
And but then he turns from like messy to hell to kind of hateful.
I was
And
gonna
I
say
don't.
he's not just asking questions. He's offering some his insight.
Yeah, well, when Lisa kind of like opens the door for the hot goss or whatever, the things that you're saying now, am I saying that they are untrue? No, I am not.
Correct.
But the way that he's talking about and this is kind of dumb, but like his problems are not coming from alcohol or pills. And they say, addiction is just a symptom. He's obviously running away from something else because he has no voice. I want them to get off Sheena's jock about being a strong lady, even though she's not a feminist.
No. No, she isn't. And they do stay on her about it. Yeah.
They do.
Um,
They are at her neck this entire episode.
yeah, there's just no reason, we don't agree with or we don't disagree with what he's saying overall, but just the fact that they're talking about it at all, it's just like, Jax, go away. I do not want relationship insight from you. That is the last thing.
She was like,
Especially as we
"Get
get
your own
into his
shit together."
relationship. Yes.
And
I'm great
so
at giving. I'm great at giving advice. I just don't follow it.
a little bit more about Kentucky Muffin. Okay, he loves her. He doesn't say it here, but Tom Schwartz says it later. And remember, they flash back to him declaring his exclusivity. But she went back to
Yes.
Kentucky, and right now he's saying if she moves here, then he will be her boyfriend, and but he cannot do long distance relationships. And I wrote down, I wonder what he's telling her.
Yeah.
What
I do too.
conversations are him and her having about her moving out there and relocating? Because this woman is about to pick up and move out here when he is still trying to fuck Lala. Like
I
it's oof.
Well, he was trying to holler at Lala when she was in the interview that he got her 20 feet, not even 20 feet away. I mean, she's 6 feet
That's
away.
right.
So of course, if she's in Kentucky, and I think the snippet they show like of them in the apartment when he's like, "Yeah, I mean, I'm into being exclusive with you," and she's like, "You're not going to go find no other girls." Like that's what's happening constantly. I mean, that is probably the thing they're talking about over and over again. There's no Lala when their conversation, that's all. But
And there's more diagnosis too. So, and I believe this to be true that Sheena is mothering him a little bit. And
yeah.
I think that's probably a symptom of her worry. Like she's probably hovering and just really trying to just like hold the grip, keep her eyes on the horizon or the airplane's going to go down. And, but Jax asserts that he's using pills because he has no balls.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's healthy talk. I just don't know if that's helpful in this situation.
No, and LVP's with you, and we get from her what I like to give folks when I'm over them, and that's a big ol' eye roll. That's one we get for Lisa right there with my
Yay! The
brand
eye
new
roll
stamp.
stamp. It's
That's
an
right.
inaugural stamp.
Before she
But
tells him to keep
Lisa,
your new nose out of it.
I love it. But hey, I have a question about their timeline because Lisa says, oh, Sheena's the best thing's ever happened to him, and he was doing this long before her. I wonder if maybe they just knew each other in high school and they only got together recently because were they broken up for
I
Eddie
bet
Cibrian? Had they not started dating? Like, what is the timeline?
I bet you they have broken up and gotten back together a couple times. I
Okay,
think they
so
were
maybe
together when that happened. I don't know, but
I don't. We've had really had
they
any
don't.
clarification about it, but
Yeah.
Jackson says he's the only one with his eyes on the whole situation. So that feels very cryptic, and I don't know if he's just trying to stay relevant or if he really does. But don't worry, he will drop it at the most opportunistic time, at the moment that he thinks he can get the most out of it. Then he will drop the nugget because. But their dynamic is so interesting. Like
I
the
mean,
yeah, the way she whispers, I mean, something is going on. It is.
yeah.
It's so familiar. And then the boldness that he has, the way he talks to her. And remember how mad she got when Sandoval even just kind of like got a smidge of a tone? But Jax is just out here with a box of stolen wine
Oh, I was
that
gonna say,
he
he ends up leaving with that box, right?
no. And he's just so bold. And so it's just so interesting to me. There's obviously a familiarity there, and
Oh
I
yeah.
like it a lot. Maybe they're close because they're closer in age
I
than
don't
the
know.
rest of them.
I mean, it's something about the whole, like when Sheena's mom called him the puppy that peed on the rug. Like, I think that's how she looks at him, like this wounded puppy she's got to take care of. She loves her dogs, and I think she's just kind of folded Jax into her pack. There's
Oh
Hanky,
yeah,
Panky, and Jax. They're all just kind of getting her love when they can. I mean, we get them
yeah,
every episode almost, like the two of them
mm-hmm,
together.
yeah. And then we see James and Lala.
The
They went out
inevitable.
last night. And so the editing right here is so choppy, but James talks about the mixing of everything and then he makes this like sniffling gesture. And Lala talks about what a bad influence he is. So like they went really hard last night. She tells a
Yeah.
story about his drunken shenanigans that he doesn't remember.
Yeah, he got sloppy, dropping drinks, and little makeout sesh for the two of them.
Hmm.
Little makeout sesh.
And this is where we start to see their timeline unfold here. So he told Lala that him and Kristen had broken up yesterday, even though
Yeah,
she said that there's no time lapse on, I mean, there's no time limit. You can do whatever. But he doesn't feel bad for it because he technically was cheating, but he doesn't give a shit. He says, Jeff, I've completely broken up with Kristen. I just haven't broken up with her yet.
yep. That means he's just scared of Kristen. Is all. That's all that
Yeah.
is right there.
And
That just means you're
full on
scared.
cheating. Yeah, and
Yep.
full on cheating on her. Full on cheating on her. And
Absolutely.
it is so funny to hear Lala talk about Kristen because she doesn't have any context. Like she didn't grow up with them like the rest of those kids did, and she's like, I mean, I've heard about her,
Yeah.
and but if she wants to get it pop, if we're gonna get it popping, we're gonna get it popping. And Lala's black scent is a little grating to me. I find
It's
it to be just
it's
yeah.
around in every she drops it pretty regular actually, but yeah, she's talking about it. Like she's Michael Myers or Jason Voorhees. Like I've heard about it. Like it's because she doesn't work here. Oh no, she worked. This one waitress used to work here years ago, and she just appears
Lord.
and hovers into the alley sometimes.
Mm.
Like go into the
And
bathroom and say her name three times, and she comes out.
well, she does. She appears
Yep.
right at the hostess stand and,
Yep.
there to show. Because James does predict that she may not come to your house to
Uh huh.
harass you, but she is absolutely going to turn up here and harass me. So
And
that
she knows
happens.
where
That
you
comes
live
to
though.
fruition. Yeah,
Like she
for
knows where
sure.
is he wearing one of her word art shirts? Because he's got like I couldn't make it out, but it's a black shirt with just like plain white lettering on it in some kind of
I
groovy
don't know.
design, and I was like, that it looks like a Doty, a ridge right there,
What a
and
slap in the face.
yeah, and
I
like
mean,
when, but like, and like when Lala is mentioning Kristen, it's like, I mean, if she wants to get scrappy, I'll get scrappy. I'm like, let me write that. Let me make a note
yeah,
of
I
that
mean,
right
we'll
there.
see. I mean, but she does kind of put on this bravado, but I don't want to step to Kristen. We saw her fight Tom Sandoval like a grown man. We saw her clock James like it was her part-time job. I mean, I don't want it. I don't want that smoke. But
No, not at
so
all.
so they meet in the back alley. Okay, here we are. Um and it goes just about as we think. He has no like ramp up speed, right? He just goes in super hot. I don't trust you. You fuck some guy in Detroit. You're a dirty slut. Fuck off. I hate you. Like immediately just gets into it. Goes hot.
Yeah. Um, I like when she had first come up and Lala's walking away from Kristen, you see her like she just like mouths a fuck at her, and it's like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's all you got. That yeah, it goes right away. Like, I don't trust you. This whole Detroit story, which does sound pretty shady.
I mean, he's real salty about the thing he's actually doing to her.
That is correct. Yes.
And but also remember whenever the stuff was going down about her and Jackson, she went away. Isn't she from Michigan or her family lives in
Yes.
Michigan?
Yeah, she's from Michigan.
So she said she had a modeling job there, which okay, you're gonna leave LA to go to Detroit for a modeling job, sure,
Hmm.
Jan. But I don't believe that she slept with anybody. I don't think so. I don't think that she would give James the satisfaction of allowing him to have that over her. Do you know what I mean? So
I've got
I
no
don't think she
reason.
did.
I've got no reason to not believe that she did. I mean, other than she says it. But honestly, her letting her phone die seems like the most unbelievable. Like, she is on that phone. There's, I
Hmm.
do not even, years, just whatever, 11 years ago, it wasn't that hard to find a charger. Like 20 years ago, you could be out and lose it pretty easily. But
Yeah.
like, just the fact that it's her also, like, I mean, she stays clacking away on that thing, man. So Jackson Kristen losing cell phone service seems like not
Yeah.
not
I mean that
happening.
is
I don't think so.
that does point to a little bit of suspicion, but the way James moves, it is given real like domestic partner violence. It's giving abuse. Now, I know that Kristen handily took care of him one time, but the way that he like reacts and dumps it back on her and then immediately goes to insulting her and just and like degrading her in a way that is just it just gives real. I wonder what happens when the cameras aren't rolling is what I wonder because it is scary how he gets.
Yeah, a fake bravado, which he is full of, can be scary. Like, because when you're putting on like that, you may feel like you've got to really show people who's boss, and that can lead to bad stuff for sure. Because I mean, he just goes off like, you're not getting this thing again, and just
Oh
calling her
God.
names. I'm guessing all this is also what we missed in the therapy. Like, whatever we didn't get shown in the therapy is exactly what's
Yeah,
happened in the alley. So
you're
we're
probably right.
yeah.
But isn't it weird too? Whenever they're sitting down and he's like, "I know you fucked that guy in Detroit," and she's like, "I didn't," and he's like, "You did, I did, I didn't." It's exactly the situation that Kristen had with Ariana,
Yep.
and it is so weird. And to Kristen's credit, she does not raise her voice. She doesn't get mad. She doesn't get loud. She's like, "Don't call me names. Don't insult me." She even kind of like compliments him, and this is what really sets him off though when
She
she
very
says that
much
he's
does.
like
Yeah.
throwing away his life. Like he's so talented, and I did all this for you. That's what sets him off whenever she says that, and that's when he starts getting real gross. And even when they part ways and is like, "Okay, we're done. I'm good. Goodbye," he follows her to
Yeah.
continue to berate her and act like a crazy, insane ex, raising his voice and shit.
I thought it was like edited weird at first. Like, I had to rewind it. I was like, oh no, he's just stomping after her. Like, this is already,
Yeah.
you wanted this to be over, and it is over. Why aren't you just go back and get it popping, my dude?
Well, that's exactly right. It's the punishing nature of this exchange is what makes me like really scared because, okay, you like you just said, you're broke up. Wash your hands of it and move on. You don't have to scream at her about going to fuck Jack's 2.0 and finding a 35-year-old and you'll never amount to anything and
Yeah.
you're a loser. Like you're free. You're free, my man. Keep it going.
That's what I mean. That fake bravado just allows you to, you think you have freedom to just say whatever you want because you're
Mhm.
so empowered right now. Like you're flying off the handle. But I love the going back and forth. We have like Lala talking to the guys. Oh, this is a treat. I was feasting on this. I loved it.
I totally took a picture of Jax's face when Lala comes to him and is like, "Oh my gosh, she's here," and like, "Oh, what am I gonna do?" And Jax is like, "I mean, what do you care?" And when she says, about just the cloud that moves
Yeah.
over his face, and he's like, "What?" And
Yeah.
then Sandoval's eyes keep going. I think he's afraid Chris is gonna come around the corner and hear him talking, but like he's just like this. And Jax is eating it up that they're in the back
Hmm.
alley fighting until he realizes that they're fighting about Lala and that James got to it first, and he does not care for that.
I mean, can you imagine how much he wanted to split himself in half right there? Like, I need to go talk to Kristen, but god damn it, I need to talk to Lala and get in this girl's pants. Like, but I need to get out there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I bet he was
Uh huh.
flipping out. Yeah.
Oh, for sure, just vibrating. But Jeff, let me ask you this: what's the difference between
Mm.
girls that get crazy and just crazy girls?
Girls that get crazy and crazy girls.
Mm-hmm. Because there's a difference according to Lala. She didn't explain the difference, but I'm just interested in what you think the difference is.
I don't know. I guess every girl's liable to get crazy. I mean, aren't we all?
Right.
There's a little bit of that. Some go crazy, and I guess some just stay there. Kristen more
Yeah.
leans to the side that stays there. Although she's working on herself. She's doing some things,
I
you
think
know.
I think that's the implication here too, is that like
Yeah.
Kristen is not a girl that gets crazy, but
Some
Kristen is the crazy
some
girl.
some have to reach there. Like in our girls here, like Sheena's more on the scale of she can get there real quick. Where
Mm-hmm.
some other
Yeah.
girls need to get worked up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
That's too close to the actual noise that got made. That was too close.
But what I enjoyed the most is that these two grown men are sitting here telling this woman how scared they are of Kristen, and Tom Sandoval just says, "Oh, she gives me anxiety."
And then, because he ended up talking about it, like she's like, "I've heard all these things," and then and it's like the horror movie character, and he's like, I'm the one, I dated her, like she's my ex," and it's
Yeah.
almost like he's realizing it for the first time, like this thing that I've gotten away from, like, is really haunting me, like in a physical
Hmm. I
manifestation
mean,
kind of way.
I would love for people to like behind my back be afraid of me. I think that would be a real power that you could wield in a way, that could just sort of like weed out. Speaking of riffraff, the
One
weed out
hundred
the riffraff
percent,
in your life.
that has happened. I guarantee you that has happened. And I don't say that just, I'm not just blowing smoke. I
Uh,
think I think that's a
High
real thing.
fives.
Yeah.
But
Um.
we go back to the alley, and he's
Yeah.
still screaming at her.
He's
He feels
going,
played,
and he's
used.
smoking
Yeah.
again, like 4 feet from the propane tanks. I'm just every time they do that, I'm like, why are we? Why is there just an array of propane tanks right next to the smoke? Just something that always gets me.
I
Um,
mean, just back and forth, all these really nasty things. And then when he finally leaves her, he yells, "Well, fuck off. I have a date tomorrow." And she just kind of chalks it up. Later, we find out how she comes around to it. But
yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Kristen's crying in the confessional, and I'm going to tell her, like my mother told my sister, "Girl, your picker is broken."
Yes.
My mom used to say about my sister, Mandy, shout out if you're listening, that if you put a lineup of 9 bums, like ne'er do wells, as she would say, and put one millionaire in there, or vice versa, put like 9 millionaires and one
There you
bum,
go.
my sister's gonna pick the bum every
Yeah.
single time. She's gonna pick the bum every single time. And I think Kristen may have a little bit that in her because surely this switch didn't just flip and this man just started acting this way. He has been this way, right, for the year and a half they've been together.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, he seems so proud of himself. I just can't stand it. Like,
Yeah,
and I
he
feel
is
like he had to look at
worth
his
it.
hand and be like, what did I want to go out on? Kristen Doty, it's over. Like, he nailed it. Like, he was like, that's the thing I was going to say. He seemed so self satisfied.
And I think we're going to have to make a rule that James can't be the chump because he's just always going to be the default, like the de facto
It
chump.
is,
So
yeah.
we can't he can't be it because he could just be it from now into eternity.
Yeah.
Like
He
we
surpassed
had to quit
Frank.
saying and Schwartz, I think, at this point.
Mm, that
Um,
is a tough one.
well, you know what time it is now. It's egg white
Wine and
omelet
cheese.
time.
Oh,
Yep,
yes. Yes.
brought to you by the egg white industry.
Uh
I
huh.
wanted to know. Sheeta's wearing these really dumb glasses, but I want to know because she always has these really long nails. How does she deal with her contacts with those big long nails? Because I wear
Ooh.
nails quite a bit, but I have the toughest time even when I have longer ones. But she has real long ones. But
That
that
might
just
be why
occurred to
she
me
was so
though.
upset Shay was gone for a week. She might not have, she might have just had to do glasses and had to wait for him to get back and be like,
She couldn't put her
part of
contacts in.
her team was out of town. So
Sure, that's
she
why she's
needed
upset, Jeff. Yeah, that's it. You got it. She's called.
I
Uh,
didn't see the Live Laugh Love you mentioned before. So when I saw it up against where the lettering above the bed this time, I was kind of shocked. Yeah.
yeah, jump scare.
Yeah, it
But
was. I was like, I've never seen it like that before.
and so, and two, the bedroom does not look like a man has ever stepped foot in there, much
No.
less live there. And I'm not trying to like, I know furniture can't be gendered or whatever, but this looks like Sheena Shea from top to bottom, side to side. It doesn't even look like anybody else lives in there. So,
No.
yes, she did make choices.
It looks like a pink pony Graceland is what we've got here. That is in honor of Sheena Shea. So sorry that I
What?
made you squirt wine out your nose, but that is what we're doing here. So if you
Why
wanted
couldn't
a
that have
name
been
for
her
the
nickname?
house, there we go. That's what I
Pink
had for it.
Pony Graceland. Oh my God, Jeff.
And
You won.
unsurprisingly, when they're getting the coffee time going, Shay's like, "That's so much coffee." Like Sheena's just going hard on that coffee mate, and I'm like, "That's exactly right, man." Sheena's so like,
Hmm.
get your live, laugh, love, get your pink guitar and your coffee mate. You're set, girl. I love it.
That's
It's
right.
set up for her.
Probably, yeah. She probably drinks Crystal Light. Sa- Sandoval is so encouraging. He wants to be like his Rocky's trainer.
Mickey is Rocky's trainer, by the way. Just
That's
just
right.
throwing that
Thank
out
you
there.
for filling in the blank. And he wants to see him victorious. And I think this is sweet. And
Yes.
we talked so much about it last week too, but I don't think any of these people know anything about how to deal with somebody who's going through such this heady experience. Now, I mean, yes, it just so happens that like Shay is grappling with the disease of addiction, but I think if he had been diagnosed with cancer or diabetes, they would all be acting like this too. Hey man, maybe if you just like, get out there and run it off a little bit, just
Yeah,
rub some
they
dirt
would.
on it. I just don't think that they understand how to help him and what he needs. And so they're just like throwing everything they can at him. An egg white omelet, sure, have at it. And this is where we learn about Sandoval being a secret homemaker, but not
Yeah.
before Ariana says the thing that you said that former addicts never want to hear is that sugar is the devil.
Yeah, you don't want to hear that. But then I thought about Ariana in Miami and like pouring the drinks, while she's in her tiny bikini, and I'm like, yeah, I guess if you think sugar is the devil, then you're allowed to walk around like that. So that you do gain a
Well,
little something.
I mean, also too, she has a 28-year-old metabolism, so
Yes.
Shay, on
But
the other
yeah,
hand, looks like he might have a 57-year-old metabolism.
well, that's
Not to
according
pile
to his
on.
wife.
Yeah, not to pile on.
Yeah, but I was
But
talking before last week about like how much like somebody in recovery immediately wants sugar all the time, and like he
mhm.
doesn't look happy until he's like, and then I got out of bed and had those three otter pops, and I'm like, just, and they're like, sugar's the devil. I'm like, let him have his stupid otter pop. Like
I
he's
mean,
not taking
seriously.
Vicodin for a little while. Let him have an otter pop. Give him
Did
a
you
solder pop.
did you watch that show, The Flight Attendant, with Kaylee Cuoco?
No, no.
So she's a very destructive alcoholic through the entire first season, and the second season is she's in recovery, and like there's like one of the B plots through the entire season is just her desperate need to have sugar at all
Yeah,
times, and like she's always just like cramming it in, which a little unbelievable given what Kaylee Cuoco's figure looks like as well, but. That was like an ongoing storyline, and so just let this man have his otter pops,
I've
people. Okay,
I've lived it, man. Right after I stopped drinking, we opened up our spot, right across from a vegan bakery, which means they just loaded up with more sugar because there's not, animal fat or anything in it. And I would get these huge chocolate cake slices to go home with rather than, whatever I would have before. And
that's
they'd
right.
say
Yeah,
things like, this one's fun because like four people can eat it. And I was like, that's how many are gonna eat on this one. That's exactly right.
sure.
I'll be back tomorrow
Um,
evening.
Translate this for me. When Sandoval says, I did this for a living, and Shay goes, make omelets? Not make omelets. An on site catering service to
Yeah.
which, if you were a highly paid, super hot actress in the mid 2000s, you probably ate his eggs. Translate that to me. What is he saying he did?
He just had a breakfast shift on a catering company that like goes to movies and stuff. So like when you're
Okay.
watching the credits, they'll have like catering by and they'll have, whatever cutesy Hollywood catering company name. So he just
Like
worked for
craft
one of
services.
those. Yeah, and that's solid work. I mean, because that's always getting done. Like, and you get to move around a little bit. But I mean, I've heard from people
Okay.
that have done that kind of thing. But yeah, they have morning, afternoon, and evening shifts just like a restaurant. So I mean, if you're
Yeah. I
just
just
the
couldn't
breakfast guy on set,
understand what he was
yeah,
saying. I was like, was he a personal chef? Was he like, I couldn't understand. But thank you for translating for me because that makes much more sense too.
it was
And
weird
so,
because he said "eat my eggs," and that made it weird.
no, it made it weird when you said it. I didn't even notice it when he said it, but when you said it, ooh, I
I'm re-
don't
I'm
know.
I'm relaying the message, and also,
Eat my eggs.
yeah, we watch them get to eat and the juice, and then we watch the two of them like weirdly eat next to each other, where we just saw them like fighting over it, and like poor cheese, he just wants some more cheese. Like you got more cheese
Yeah.
than I did.
He,
I'm like give him his sugar and cheese, man. Come on.
do they seem like they like it?
No,
No.
no, they're
Mm-mm.
weirded
What is,
out
yeah.
by everything.
I mean,
Yeah,
that broccoli side looked real good.
I don't
And the
think they
way he was,
liked the positive energy Tom and Ariana were bringing into the apartment. Is honestly what
no.
I don't like.
And two people who were drinking Capri Suns with their main dinner meal are not going
Yeah.
to love this organic, beautiful breakfast that this man made. They're not there yet. They're not there yet.
Oh, there's seven kinds of fruits and vegetables in this glass. Thanks
Ew.
so much. I mean, I love it. That's
Gross.
great, but not for
I mean,
shit.
yes. But that's how they were just really sort of rejecting of it. Like, ooh, no
Yes.
thanks. But then cut to another schmuck. Day drinking at Sir. And of course, this man orders a muddled raspberry mojito, you fucking simp. You're gonna come to my job. There's not one person on the bar. I'm just leaning against your chat with my friend, and you want me to make you a muddled drink? Electric chair. Fuck it, get out. Like you're dead to
Beyond
me.
jail for you. Beyond jail
Yes,
to the electric chair.
like what? And then he makes a joke about it. You were off. This is your day off. You mean like every other day, and then come in here and make more work for me, a working person? No, I hate him.
In the restaurant of the person who you had the meeting with. So like go do some of your damn homework, man. What you doing?
Well, that's exactly what Lisa says. And I guess maybe that's why they included it in the previously on because
Yeah.
she's like, aren't you supposed to be like working on your sangria pitch? And he's like, "Buh, buh, 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 buh,"
It's just like I don't mind you going to the bar by yourself. I don't mind you day drinking. I don't mind you getting a muddled drink. Just don't like. There's a billion places in the greater Los Angeles area. You got to go. I mean, it was free
And
probably, so
I was about
there's
to say,
that.
you know for a fact he didn't pay
Yeah,
for that. Come on, or else he put it on Katie's tab. But Jax
big
can't
news.
go.
Big news coming.
Jax can't go to the sommelier because Peter is full of big announcements. He's getting rid of that ponytail.
The pony's going.
Uh-huh. And when he mentions his girlfriend wanting him to be like more serious, whatever, they flash back to the quote big announcement, which again, as we said, not an announcement, just a thing that
Just to
happened.
think, that's just a person in the world.
Yeah. And then this is where Jeff sent me a text earlier talking about fraternization. And because my brain, I just read it as fraternization, and I was like, what? I'm going to the bookstore. What's wrong with who am I fraternizing with at the bookstore? But Lisa never misses a chance to just dress this man down. And he narks on her. Hey, Lisa, isn't there a policy about the fraternization?
Yeah, first off, real rich coming from Jax Taylor all of a sudden on
Mm-hmm.
this.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
this is one of those, like I've said before, where I'm not really mad at him about something. I just want to be like, hey man, hey, come here. Like if I'm working in there with him, like, what are you going for here? Like, what do you think you're helping by doing this? Like,
Well,
are you sure?
Schwartz Schwartz calls him the number one perpetrator of everything.
Oh yeah. The number one perpetrator of all that stuff you're talking about. Like you,
Yeah. And Lisa calls him bitter that he's just like out here trying to sabotage. And he is. That's the whole reason he orchestrates that date later on. He's trying to sabotage. But in the same breath that he is doing the sabotaging, the tattling, he also says, well, I don't need to do anything. James is going to sabotage himself. Yes, that is true. So shut up and sit
right.
down.
That's
You have said this.
we call that one a hard fail.
Yeah, you have said this about him so many times that if he would just do nothing, or maybe we've said it
Yeah.
together, that his life would just be so much better. He would win in so many more situations if he just stood down. Like, I'm just going to step back and let this, idiot handle himself. And,
Yeah.
he does. He does.
But
And
at least he's real upfront with his intentions about Lala. That's refreshing.
yeah, he doesn't want a girlfriend.
Ugh.
Yeah. But Lisa characterizes it, pretty quickly. This 100-pound pipsqueak is getting in the way of the cock of the walk. And the cock of the walk's feathers are ruffled.
Yes, they are. And it's starting to look it. He's starting to look a little ruffled a lot of the time, really.
Did he have some kind of jaw surgery or something? Because isn't he looking like wider through the
I
jaw?
think it looks like swelling or something like, and it looks like there's a pock mark, like there was a accident
Yes.
or something, like a fight
Well,
or just a fight. Like he could have gotten in a bad
yeah.
fight.
Well, remember he has that scar from where he walked into the
Yeah.
whatever at the beginning of or the end of last season. So he has that, but also his hair doesn't grow in like a way that seems like a full grown man. And so it's like patchy. I mean, I don't know. I feel like somebody get him a egg white scramble
Yeah,
and
we can
age
take
the
this out.
seven fruits.
He does look like a real hulked out Gregory Bavino when he's walking around though. We can completely take that out, please. Tell me, timestamp
Well,
that.
thank you so much for creating more work for me as we are trying to get onto the patio to have cocktails.
No problem.
But I don't know who Greg Bovino is.
Okay, good. Then we don't
No,
include
I'm
it.
looking it up. Sunday Google's on air right now.
We
Oh
won't be happy
God,
about it.
Jeff.
Well, it does look like
I
him.
do know who that is. Yes, I absolutely have to take that out. God,
I wrote
Jeff.
the time down on it. It's fine.
Okay, so Rachel is back. We go back to the Red Lion Tavern. Kristen and Rachel, and this is after Jax tells
I,
on what
I've been here. I've been here. I'm excited. I've been to
you
the Red
have.
Lion Pub. I've been to like 6 bars in LA, and this is one of them. I was super excited to see. I couldn't believe it. Like I had to look it up to make sure. I mean, this
That's
was
so
like
funny because something
19 years
told
ago.
me to write it down, right? Like something told
Yeah.
me to write it down. But Rachel calls it a dive bar, and then they proceed to order a bottle of Sauvignon Blanc. No dive bar I've ever been to offers Sauvignon Blanc, but LA is a different story.
Yeah, it's just I mean, it's like a neighborhood bar more than a dive bar. Like, I mean, I went to some dive bars when out there, and that wasn't one of them. But it was
Yeah.
super fun. They were super nice. They've got like German food, like a lot of German influence in there. I got day drunk there. It was super. It was one of those like, let's go over here for a couple drinks, and then an hour later you're like, why don't we just hang out here for a while? Like it
Yeah.
was a good
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
So just a
Yep.
little
I mean,
nothing.
yes, I've been to some dive bars in broad daylight, and much like the man at the bar drinking whiskey at 11 a.m. Sure, 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 sure.
Yeah, awful judgy. I thought really.
Yeah, well, and Kristen is had obviously been crying. She is like Rachel
Yes.
tries to like make her feel better, but you can tell she's puffy. And fucking Jax, fucking Jax tries to quote console her, and is like, "No, man, they didn't fuck. They just made out a little bit." And then record scratch. What?
Yeah.
And so now Kristen has a whole nother layer of like breakup shame and sadness and anger to sort through.
But also, like she says, she ran into Jax in the alley. What she may not know really is that he knows she was out there, and he went to go, run tell that
Uh-huh.
like on him. Sorry, now I'm
And
jumping into it.
but also, he works there. You do
Right.
not. How do you run into someone at a place that you don't work at anymore? Like, but yes, he 100% did. And I also think that there is some kind of, and I've said this many, many times before, that the Jax and Kristen friendship that the producers are not showing us for
Yeah,
whatever reason, because it seems really random that Jax gets so mad. I mean, that James gets so mad about Jax, but I think that they're in contact quite a bit. I don't think they're
I do
sleeping
too.
together, or maybe sometimes once in a while, but I don't think there's anything romantic. I think that there is a real live friendship there, and for some reason, whatever, we don't see it on screen.
Yeah. And what we do see though are when in the retelling, Jax's eyes are about this big, just right below dinner plate.
Now we
I
know what he was
mean,
doing in the alley.
yeah, and I love Sandoval's just when he's the audience talking to him, like, he's like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Like, I
Yeah,
mean, again, we're gonna have to go through all this.
and
Uh,
and he was like, "What am I gonna do?" And at the exact same time, Katie and Ariana said this, and they just like flipped it around and just went on this. Like that's what you do. You walk away. You don't sit
mhm.
there and diarrhea mouth, as they said, onto her because it did not do any good. All it did was make Kristen feel sad. And like again, her picker is broken. It is not her fault that this man did this to her. But after a few, bad runs, you kind of start to internalize it like, well, damn, what's happening over here? Is it something that I'm doing? Like, how am I doing this? And I mean, I have a beautiful, wonderful wife now, but listen, I kissed a lot of frogs, okay? I kissed a lot of frogs. And I can just sort of see Kristen trying to do this work on herself, trying to figure out like how to be better after a really tough season 3. And again, this 100-pound pipsqueak is just playing in her face.
Yeah, we do hear some stuff about James. She lets us know, her thoughts on him. Like he's gonna go down like the Jax direction, but more douchey. That's a
Yes.
that's a
Yeah.
statement there. And
But
also what
and
he's been saying about Lala.
yeah, and we've seen that though. We've seen him
Hmm.
say what a slut she is and how what a whore she is and stuff.
Yeah.
And and the difference between and she makes this notation that the difference between Jax and James is like James is just going to be a douche. There is something endearing about Jax. There is something that he finds that people find lovable about him, and James is working his way to like zero lovability. There's not
Yes.
much left to like about this man here. She says that his ego is growing. Do you remember what she compared it to?
No,
A
I don't
chia
have that.
pet.
Oh yeah,
His
yeah, the
ego
chia pet. You
is
can't. It just
growing
grows
like
and grows.
a
Yes.
chia pet. Yes, sir.
Think that was
I,
back
wa-
here and because of the past, as a matter of
I was
fact.
about to say I wanted to save it for because of the past, but I couldn't resist. I couldn't resist. Okay, so then I didn't write down the name of this man's salon, but everybody's like, "Hey, Haywood, fives, high fives all around,"
It's
and he's
trust because it has an
there. We go.
exclamation point.
No, yeah, yeah. Well, your tone indicated as such, so for sure.
Yeah.
Hold on.
It is
Yeah.
kind of important. No,
What is it, baby?
I left a keyboard here like a week ago. I
Oh,
left a keyboard.
go look in the office on the top of the bureau, like the hutch. I had to put it on a Shep site.
Hey, you
Everybody
want
created
to?
more work for me today.
I'm sorry.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
sorry to help, but the Bavino thing, just I wasn't gonna say it.
I know, it's fine. Do we need to break right here for just a second?
Yeah, I don't really have to break, but we can
Well, I
stop and
know, but
start.
sometimes the things get okay. I see what you
Yeah.
mean. That's what I was. All right, hold on. I'm gonna do it right now.